Okay, so I've got two readings today to kind of get us started. Excuse me, because I'm feeling a little scattered with all the things we've done. So I forget who this is from. I think it's from uh, Tara Brach's book, and she quotes it. Overcome any bitterness that may have come because you were not up to the magnitude of the pain that was entrusted to you. I'm going to say that again. Overcome any bitterness that may have come because you were not up to the magnitude of the pain that was entrusted to you. Like the mother of the world who carries the pain of the world in her heart, each one of us is a part of her heart and therefore endowed with a certain measure of cosmic pain. Okay, let's look at this reading on a couple of levels. First of all, any bitterness. Now that means not only bitterness towards other people, and this is talking particularly about our childhood, but it's through every phase of our life that we go through. We tend to criticize ourselves because of the way that we handle that pain. And particularly when we start getting into therapy, when we start our spiritual journeys, and we begin to see all the so-called character defects that we've accreted, the tendency is, look at what I've done. These are my problems. Even character defects is a biased phrase. These are not character defects. These are natural responses that your body made to the environment that you were in. When you were 5 years old, you didn't decide to start shielding your heart against the world. Your heart naturally closed. So we've been doing a lot of stuff about heart chakra and the tendency to close, all your chakras to close when they're overstressed. That's natural. That's not something wrong. So part of it is to quit seeing these things, pathologizing these things. These are not negative things, okay? Having pain and carrying pain is also the solution. It's the way out, because what we're doing as we begin our meditation is learning to sit with our pain and learning to stay open a little bit longer than we thought we could stand, and integrate more and more of that discomfort on the outside and still staying open. Well, that is the image of the Sacred Heart. When you look at the Sacred Heart, you see the crown of thorns and then you see the light on top of it. And this is what those, the compassionate view of life that that's shared by figures like Kuan Yin and the mother goddesses or Avalokiteshvara in India. They're saying to us, your pain is our pain. We carry this pain too. And if you can plug into us, we will help you endure this pain. We will help you transform that pain into wisdom. Now, Swami Kripalu has another, okay, I'm doing this backwards, bear with me. He has a saying, and this one is part of what woke Linnell up when she was at a yoga retreat in Costa Rica. I think someone read this, or was it? And she came back and it was like, whoa. It says, dearly beloved child, break your heart no longer. Every time you judge yourself, you break your own heart. Listen to that. Every time you judge yourself, you break your own heart. You stop feeding on the love, which is the wellspring of your vitality. Now, listen to this. It's not saying you're bad for doing that. It's not saying that you're unhealthy because you do that. We're not doing that because your spirit, that vital life force energy, that prana that flows through you, is compassion, okay? It is your vital life force energy. It is love. When you criticize yourself and your heart constricts, you just shut yourself off from the source of your vitality. So how do you expect to be critical of yourself or critical of other people and have energy. Everyone's running around looking for energy. Well, the reason you don't have energy, you're sitting in a pool of energy. We're surrounded by energy, your energy. Everything around us is energy. So what keeps me from experiencing that? Your self-judgment, folks. Get off your own back. He says the time has come. Your time. Time to live. Time to celebrate. Time to see the goodness that you are. I just found out that Carl Jung used to take his patients and sit them in a room with a portrait of themselves. And they had to stare at the portrait for at least 2 hours. And what people found was the longer they stared, the more compassion began to break through, and they would start spontaneously to cry and to begin to experience themselves and begin to feel some love towards themselves. It was powerful therapy when you begin to shift from that judgmental mind to this compassionate mind. You, child, are divine. You're pure. You're sublime. We're sublimely free. Now, when we say you already have what you're looking for, you are already fixed. You're already worthy, just as you are. We don't mean all the character defects that you've accumulated, all the defense mechanisms. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're saying that underneath the defenses, those defenses protected your spirit. I wake up every morning, I go, thank you for all my character defects. That may sound crazy, but if I didn't have those character defects, I'd be spiritual mush. I'd be emotional much. I never could have survived long enough to find the safety that I needed to begin to integrate the pain. So when we sit on our cushion, one of the things that I heard this week that really impressed me was a guy saying, we're learning all these techniques to begin to learn to move ventral, the new vagus nerve language. And all these hacks work. You can move from fight or flight, or move from being dorsal and depressed and feeling like life is worthless. And you can shift yourself to ventral, where all of this stuff, you realize the truth of what Swami Kripalu is saying. When you're ventral, you feel worthy. It's not even an issue. Your life is open, it's full of possibilities. You're energized, you're inspired, you're enthused. But he says we have to be careful not to use that to mask the pain we carry. And that's a caveat today, is yes, you can do that, but you can't turn that into another avoidance. So as we sit on our cushions, part of the work is having the courage to little by little allow this pain to come up. Now it will come up naturally. You don't have to force it. I call a lot of these spiritual workshops spiritual Nazis. It's very easy to get you into your pain by manipulating you. As a therapist or in a workshop, it's easy. But if you do that when you're not ready to integrate it, it can have a rebound effect. It can cause you to shut down even tighter. So the beauty of sitting is that your pain surfaces at a level that you can integrate it. And I love what Tara Brach says. No, one Tara Brach, it's Sharon Salzberg. She said, I was going through a difficult time. A lot of pain was surfacing. And I couldn't take it, so I went to my teacher. I said, so what should I be doing? How long should I sit with this stuff? And he said, just as longer than you normally do, but then just stop, distract yourself, don't get into it any further. And this is very wise advice. So what we're doing is stretching that window of tolerance just a little more, just like in the gym, that one last rep after failure. You want to do just a little more and then done. So today I want to do a meditation on self-forgiveness. We just watched a thing called Keepers of Wisdom Keepers on PBS. And they had Richard Rohr on. And he said, so how are you handling all the discomfort in the world right now. And his answer was, I do a lot of forgiveness. And he says, the person I forgive the most is myself. And that's why I love the reading. We're going to do self-forgiveness first and then get into some other levels of forgiveness if you're prepared to. Anything that may be closing your heart, we'll try and work through a little bit today. But the main thing is self-criticism is not required. Sherry Huber, in her book, There's Nothing Wrong with You, it seems like contradictory advice. We're so accustomed to seeing, how can you get better if you don't criticize yourself? And what we've forgotten is the capacity to grow through love, not through criticism, through loving what you want to become. So when you love what you want to become, when you fill up, when you go outside and you fill yourself with joy, you fill yourself with love, you fill yourself with that sense of the abundance, with gratitude, you naturally release the pain. The defenses aren't necessary anymore. Your body senses that, just like Judith Lasater. My body's safe, it's relaxed. Now I can relax even deeper. So what I learned in doing therapy, one of the first models, and it was brilliant, it served me 50 years of practice, is sugar in, shit out. Hear that, sugar in, shit out. And it's one of those paradoxes. If you ever notice when you have a good weekend with someone that you love, on the way home you have one of the worst fights you've ever had. Or you go through a time where you get really high and then all of a sudden you go into a downward spiral. And we go, why is this happening? Because that's how real healing happens. Real healing happens when you're strong, when you're relaxed, when you feel safe, then all those defense mechanisms just naturally relax. So sending these messages today to ourselves, I forgive you, I'm not mad at you anymore. I thought I was mad at you, I thought you were the problem, but actually you were the person keeping me safe. But I want you to know I'm in a safe environment today. I've got people who love me. I'm much better resourced than these parts of me that are alarmed are. And they need to know, they need to be brought up as we talk about it. Those parts are still stuck in the past. They're not in the present moment. They're a trance state. So when we get triggered, what we're really saying is, I'm tranced out. I'm tranced out. I've just shut out the reality of what's in front of me. I've shut out the reality of who I am, shut out the reality of where I am, and now I'm back in that part that traumatized me. And my responses make total sense there, but they don't make sense where I am now. Does that make sense? So really having that relationship and letting that part of us that we've been hard on know that we forgive them, very critical to our growth. So we'll talk more about this, Hansa. We have a period afterward that you're ready to. And Kelly, I don't know that you've ever been with us before, but we'll do that. So this is the time. Do you have a gong, my dear?
I'm looking for a gong.
Do you hear?
I had it on my old phone.
Do you hear T-Rex in the background?
Yeah.
Bang a gong, get it on. Bowling.
Okay. So, no, I don't. The answer is no,
Well,
I don't have a gong.
Okay, let me see if I've got. What was the name of that meditation app?
I was looking for it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Let's just.
Pretend the gong has sounded.
That's it. Gong.
Oh, the joys of being on the road.
We can do this.
So beginning with your breath. Feeling all of the sensations associated with breathing. knowing that your bodily sensations are your direct connection with the energy field around you. It's how God becomes known to us. As energy hits our senses, your bodily sensations are always in the present moment. So allow yourself to settle into the present, taking refuge here. Feeling your body settle down as it begins to shift towards ventral. Allowing your awareness to fill your body as much as possible, letting go of trying to figure anything out. Most people don't realize that wanting to understand is a form of control. It keeps you in fight or flight. Nothing to understand. Nothing to create. Suspending all effort. All effort is sympathetic, fight or flight. And settling into allowing. Allowing whatever is happening internally or externally to simply be. Perhaps beginning to take some delight in the sensations, the deliciousness of the breath. The yummy sensations of the body softening. Noticing any places that are resistant. Instead of resisting the resistance, create space around it. Using your awareness to create lots of space for the energy that wants to expand. Everything that you call a thought, an emotion, discomfort is nothing but energy. It's become trapped. No need to label it, no need to understand it, no need to journal about it or talk about it. simply bringing awareness into the energy of the body. And today I'm going to ask you, if you want to approach your heart. Begin to feel any closed aspect to your heart chakra, as we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. Just letting your awareness rest on your heart with compassion, without judgment, without analysis. And I like to say, create the atmosphere internally that you've always wanted your partner to provide for you, or your parents, or your friends. Well, I just wish you'd blah, blah, blah. Well, quit wanting someone else to do it and do it for yourself. Gently turn towards yourself, towards your heart, and silently say, I forgive you, to yourself. Bring into your awareness how many ways all day long you're critical, harsh, judgmental. And gently call out to yourself in your heart using your first name or whatever your parents called you, saying, I forgive you. Begin to realize that the mind is not you. It's a defense mechanism. If it persecutes you, it's because it's trying to protect you. But its intention is actually the compassion that you need. Just misdirect it. Feel the hardness that's blocking your heart and touch it with a gentleness that invites it to soften. Rumi uses the image of the sun against a bud, inviting it to blossom. Surround your heart with compassion, with understanding. With a tenderness. And allow yourself back into your heart. Remembering those words, I'm worthy just as I am. Nothing to add, nothing to subtract. Only you can claim your worthiness. No one else can give that to you. Feel the warmth and care that wishes only your well-being. Seeing the judgmental parts of yourself as a child, not up to the pain that's been entrusted to their care. Send them some gratitude for their ingenuity, for their courage. And let those parts of yourself that you've been at war with be touched by this kindness and this mercy. Let the part of you that judged, that created this separation, be touched by compassion. As much as you can, see how unkind you've been to yourself. And instead, allow yourself to feel loved, to feel loving, to embrace yourself with forgiveness. Letting go of all those curtains of resentment so that your heart can be free, your life lighter. I forgive myself for whatever I've done that caused me pain, that caused others pain, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Through my actions, through my words, through my thoughts. Whatever I've done, not done, however I've brought more pain into the world, I forgive you. Begin to feel the separation between your witness awareness and your separate self beginning to dissolve. As you loosen the resistances against yourself, perhaps feeling the energy starting to flow again. Looking at the ego, the separate self, feeling its pain and embracing its pain without fear, knowing that your compassion is so much larger than the pain. As Chris Williamson says, let in the light, it will heal you. And you can feel you. Sing out the song of the soul. Being with yourself in stillness. Watching the storylines of the ego unfold and disappear without criticism, judgment, resistance, but a profound and radical acceptance. Softening all resistances and letting bodily sensations, emotions, and thoughts unfold, disappear their own impermanence, leaving nothing but space, awareness, compassion. The body soft, open, receptive. The mind spacious, no limits. Resting in awareness. Heart open in its natural state of compassion. Always there, awaiting your return. Nothing to create, but having the courage to accept acceptance.
And that concludes the meditation.
Okay. Good morning, Sloan. Good morning, Samantha. Bentley, welcoming Spain into the house. Okay, this is a period for questions, comments.
I have one comment. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Julie?
Karen, Sue, I couldn't see which one.
Hi.
Karen, I'm sorry. Karen. I'll get it. Only seen it written. Now I've heard it spoken.
It's just Karen. That's it.
I'll concur on wow. Bart, thank you. I feel so fortunate to be part of this group and with this new thinking. It really is about your pain or your suffering. But what I really, really loved, something so different today. I think your word is that God hits your senses. And at first it kind of like, oh, hits my senses. But, it is. I've always imagined, that I can, but from me to my higher power or to God, I can kind of lay back into it. But I never thought about it coming to me. And it just like completed the cycle of what I'm looking for. I don't know. It was just really profound. And the only other thing I want to say is that I did a workshop a long time ago that you would discover your limiting character. And then at the end, we went out and bought a gift for the your own limiting character. You bought a gift for your limiting characters. And I got a music box that was singing a love song. And I learned that you can take any sappy love song. I used to hate love songs, but if you sing it like you're singing it to yourself,
Yes.
totally changes every love song you hear if you sing that to yourself and not someone to come in and love me. So I don't know, I just had this total symbiotic experience today. Thank you.
Well, if you like that with the senses, remember John Kabat-Zinn wrote his densest book. It weighs about 40 pounds called Come to Your Senses. We have been so anti-body in the West, and we have created that spirit-body dualism. And that has to be eliminated. We have to quit making that distinction. The body is not something different from spirit. All you are is an energetic field. In my experience of my internal energetic field are things like interoception and proprioception and my sense of balance, my internal sense of pain, nociception. The East has mapped out that whole internal sensing and mapped the internal body out in terms of nadis and chakras and meridians and all that stuff. So also you've got the external senses. And so we have not only blocked out the internal senses, which the yoga system invites you into with pratyahara and closing the outer senses and turning inward, but we denigrated the external senses and the sensual. Because the body has been considered to be profane, all right? But when you read the Radiant Sutra, there are several of the Radiant Sutras that talk about following those sensations into the sacred, outward, into God, and inward, in toward its true self. So when we're talking about a love affair with self, it's not a love affair with little self and the ego. The ego does a pretty good job of celebrating itself without any love song. But it's understanding that Brahman Atman connection, that my true self, my Atman, myself as a divine incarnation, this is a body that life is using to appreciate itself. Anne Sexton has a poem, I think it's in The Awful Rowing Towards God, where she says, God who has no body envies us our bodies. He wants nothing more than to smoke a good cigar and take a hot bath. And I just love that image that when I am delighting in the sensual, God is enjoying creation through me. That's what I was put here to do. That's what Tim's whole thing. Wow. I am here to say, wow. How many times a day can you look out and go, wow? Fucking wow. Matthew and I just had a great nature walk. He threw me down the hill about twice. But just getting out there saying, wow. So anyhow, thank you for that. Yeah, Hansa, you got anything?
She does.
No, she disappeared again.
I just got to find all the right buttons.
I understand.
First of all, I want to note that Bentley has on her screen, it says acceptance is always freedom, no matter what you're accepting.
Yep.
And that plays in so much with what you were sharing, Bart, is that acceptance of who we are. And one of the most important things that jumped out at me, and then my mind went off on a little tangent, so I missed some of the things that you were saying. But you said that the mind is the defender.
Right.
And I think that is a really, really important thing to realize. And you said this also, but in different words, is we're not our mind, we're not our body, we are spirit. And that's when I went off kind of, because when you said the defender, then I went off onto my own tangent. And for those who understand a little bit about the chakras, everyone has letters around it, and the first letter of the heart chakra is translated into English as hope.
Oh.
And when I think of hope, and especially, and this is where my mind went off, is what is hope? Because to me, a hope is about the heart opens, and then either purity or Paramashiva or whatever your divine sense is, and that E becomes that expression, it becomes embracing, it becomes all these different kind of words that begin with E, and I just translated, and I just kind of felt into this place of the heart being that eternal hope of the heart opening, so purity kind of ensues and guides me in my life, because the mind is the defender, but not my heart. My heart is the opener.
Yes, thank you.
Mm.
And, you know, the hope lies in the fact that that image, that the peace, the joy, the love that we want is only obscured. It never disappears. And then you ask, what's obscuring it? And what's obscuring it is that I want the world to be different than it is right now. I want myself to be different. I want the people around me to be different. I want the circumstances. I want something to be added that's not there. I want something to be taken away that is there. That's what's keeping me miserable. And as you say, the minute we drop that war, Cornfield, what the first chapter, second chapter, I think in his book, Path with Heart, is stopping the war. And we don't realize we're at war with life, and then we wonder why we're miserable. Because what's fighting against us is the entire universe.
And going back to that acceptance, thank you, Hansa, that you mentioned, but taking it a little deeper, what struck me was, can you accept acceptance?
Now that's a phrase.
That's good. I
from-
like that.
That's Paul Tillich, okay, who was a Lutheran theologian, probably the greatest mind of the 20th century. And he says that's really the root of Christianity. He says what Christianity fundamentally boils down to is Jesus came here to say you are accepted. All your sins are taken care of. You don't have to do it. Now, do you have the courage to step up and accept acceptance? And it does take courage. And it goes along with Fra Giovanni. There are things that are available to you, but they can't be given to you. You have to accept them. And hope was one of them, Hansa. He said, it's something that you accept, not something you create. not something you deserve. It's something you have the courage to step up and say, today, I'm going to act like a person who deserves to be respected, deserves to feel worthy, deserves to be loved, deserves to express themselves without shame.
And that goes back to what you were saying, Bart, is it begins with you doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
Then our ego doesn't have anything to fight against.
Then the ego had nothing to fight against. And that's the beauty of it, is you begin to see if you think of your ego as, I think, the minister of war.
Yeah,
Okay. And
Yeah.
so I'm the king. I need to be the king or queen.
Yeah.
And so this minister is advising me constantly to go to war.
Yeah.
And I have to have the executive function to say, no, not going to war today.
Yeah. And then when we starve it, it starts
It gets,
screaming.
gets louder. It gets louder. And that's how you know, okay, again, thank you for that. When you start getting a lot of resistance from your ego, you need to reinterpret that as success, okay?
Mhm.
And when you're in more pain, instead of saying, my practice is giving me more pain, I need to stop. This is not on a physical level, this is on an emotional level. To see it as a sign that I'm making progress, I can integrate this level of pain, and trust that your defense mechanisms are reflexive enough. They happen in a half a second before the executive function is in. You will shut down automatically, even if you're trying to stay open to it, you won't be able to. So trust your defenses, folks. Don't, they were there for a reason. They'll protect you. Now learn to control them. Learn to get them in and put them in their place. Let them work for you. Hey, anybody else? Good morning, Brad. How are you? I can't hear you.
Can unmute yourself, Brad.
Of course. All right. Hi, Bart. Hi, Linnell. I'm good. Everything is good out here in Oregon. I had a first birthday for a grandchild yesterday.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Awesome.
is special.
And I've got my electric car up on jack stands in the driveway because I dropped the 500-pound battery out of the bottom
Oh,
in order to find the one cell that might be bad and then put it all back together and maybe it'll work.
I hope you got a good jack.
We got a good jack.
When you need it. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say how grateful I am for y'all and this space, and thank you. Just overwhelmed with gratitude. And I heard something today in another meditation, and it just said, how can one not believe in miracles when you yourself, you are a miracle? And I thought Bart would probably say that to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
It's good to
John.
see you smiling.
I had a little like a visual during the meditation, and I experienced my heart being rather like a brown egg with the shell. And as you spoke, I could feel something beating and beating inside of me like a baby bird wanting to come out. And the beating kept expanding and expanding until the eggshell broke open. And there was this, and this kept growing and growing, this immense translucent heart. And it was filled with all my sorrows and the things I wish I had done and the things I did and the people that these represented. And I realized they loved me. And that is why they were in my heart. And I felt that I was able to forgive myself because I was so surrounded by love.
Art. A friend of mine is the mayor in Apex.
Okay.
Can you
We're not
speak
the
up,
a little
Drew?
bit, Drew.
Can't hear me? friend of mine, can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Okay. Sorry. Never mind then.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Just shout. Shout it out.
Okay. There's a fella who would walk around in Apex, North Carolina, and he didn't have an official title, but his name was J.C. Knowles. He passed last week. He was 99, I think. And he would walk around and say, everything is wonderful. How are you? Everything is wonderful. And I'll never forget that phrase. It's kind of in my brain. So thank you, JC.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you, Drew.
It's like that Zen teacher. I'm
That's
grateful
what I'm
for
thinking.
everything. I have no regrets whatsoever. That's all she teaches.
That's what I shared in yoga this week, so my yogis would recognize. I'm thankful for everything. I have no complaints whatsoever. That's the mantra.
And the power of gratitude, okay? Again, neuroscience is saying the first 6 minutes of waking up sets the whole tone for your day. If you wake up in fight or flight, it's going to put those stress hormones, the adrenaline and the cortisol, into your system. And that, what we don't understand, and what I'm trying to get across, is that these neurochemicals are a filter. That the being dorsal is a filter. That being in fight or flight is a filter. It limits what you can see. It's literally a trance state. Being in cortisol limits what you can see. All you can see is threat when that happens. When you wake up with dopamine and you say, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, really feeling that sincerity, and you get those more elevated things. If you've got a cat, we sit with our dog. Our dog is named Ananda, and he's Nandi, and he's an anandamide pump. So sit and play with him. He rolls over on his belly, and you stroke it, and he just totally absorbs it, and he blisses out. His eyelids roll back in his head, and of course we follow shortly after. I mean, how can you not be grateful that this being is sitting there providing you with this neurochemical that's the same one you get when you smoke pot, and it doesn't affect your lungs.
Or eat chocolate.
Or eat chocolate, or all the good things. So it's such a yummy neurotransmitter to have, and it's so natural. Wake up, put that on board. Put on gratitude on board. Put on gratitude to yourself. Again, I tell people, first thing in the morning, 2 or 3 things you respect yourself for. Not that you accomplish, but for the strength of character it took to do what you did. And esteem yourself. Self-esteem is not a noun, it's a verb. Esteem yourself, value yourself. Right? And then think about those moments that life was sacred. Just call a few of them, like when your child was born, or when you were in love. Remember those moments. All of that stimulates those neural pathways. So these glimmers are the opposite of PTSD. So it's using the power of the mind to stimulate these neurotransmitters, but they're life-affirming neurotransmitters, not life-denying neurotransmitters. And I love neuroscience is discovering all this stuff, but it's validating stuff that the wisdom traditions have taught for 5,000 years.
That's great.
So it's really nothing new. It's just a new package, and now we know the how.
And
now
it's proven.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the modern mind, with all its skepticism and its pragmatism and its wanting empirical verification, now we've got it. So let's move on. Now let's apply it.
And there was a part of the meditation that you spoke about compassion, correct, Bart?
Yep. So compassion.
That's huge.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to understand, Bentley, compassion is a natural part of being ventral. So we can see the part of your brain where compassion happens. That's the beauty of these functional MRIs. So when you see compassion operating, we know where it happened. You can cultivate and grow compassion, which is why we do that as a part of our meditation, we're going to go on and open our hearts to other people next time, and then open our hearts to the world. I love that line, heart as wide as the world.
But it's also a natural effect
But it's
of meditation. It's a natural result. You
Of
don't
being
have to
ventral.
seek, but as a meditation class or a yoga class can often create compassion.
Right.
And it's the meaning of Kripalu.
Right. Of his
It's
name.
the
It means
translation.
compassion.
Yeah.
So compassion is a part of being ventral. So we waste all this time trying to be compassionate instead of going to the part of you that is compassionate. When you're trying, you're in fight or flight. When you go ventral, you're naturally compassionate. So again, right effort. You need to put the effort in the right direction, not toward trying to be compassionate, but allowing yourself to go ventral. Then you become compassionate.
Accept what's already there.
It's already there. It just reveals what's already there. So Hansa, part of what I say to people is that being ventral is what Jesus meant by the kingdom. That the ventral part of your parasympathetic nervous system is always there. It's in your midst. It's in you. That as long as I'm hateful, as long as I'm closing my heart to the world, I can't experience it. But it's there. Anytime I want to shift out of that, I move into these things. So children are naturally ventral. Animals are naturally ventral. Every fear that we have that causes us to go into fight or flight is learned. It's taught by our environment. And so it's unlearning, teaching our nervous system to get out of the hostile environment. And we do that through forgiveness and through self-acceptance and all those goodies. Okay?
Okay, go ahead, Hansa.
Just a short statement, because I realized I think we're supposed to finish around 9, but for those of you who are in the restorative program and just those of you who do yoga, posture is one of the things that's really important for the ventral system, and our alignment in our body allows that to free. And when we jut our head around in different places, it actually can distort the movement of that ventral system within our body. And for those of you who are in the restorative class, one of the things that we often do when we're doing asana is we try to put ourselves in a place, triggering the dorsal that's going to say, am I right? Am I doing this? Is it okay? But when we can relax into it, it allows the body to, in the prana, the breath, because prana means to move towards, and na is the eternal cosmic vibration. So you're laying there and you're breathing, and what happens is the body automatically turns that on and allows you to relax into it. And the fine tuning of your posture when you're in a restorative pose allows that connection to follow Lynn's hand to center you. Yeah.
Well, thank
So
you. Yes.
be willing to do this practice from a place of not am I getting the right props, but am I allowing the prop of my body to allow the spirit to flow, the kingdom to flow, using Bart's word.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up to that. And I'm asking because I took I returned to my yin practice this week. And what really, if there is there a fundamental difference between restorative and yin?
We don't have time for that, okay?
Yeah, quick answer.
Well, you better call me then, Bart.
Go for a quick answer, Hansa.
There's similarities and there's differences. And one of the similarities is when you're in a restorative class, the props allow the body to totally relax, whereas in yin, you're trying to hold a posture, which keeps part of you engaged. And that is a practice we also need, is how do we stay engaged in life fully and relax into something? So both of them have different benefits.
Okay,
And I'll just say that much.
Thank
That's
you.
the full conversation.
Yeah. Don't la around with the pose is what I say. Stay engaged.
Thanks.
Okay, so anyhow, you all have been great. I'm so jacked up. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this energy. I think I'm about to explode. So I need to get outside so we don't have to clean up the room. So we we close with 3 rounds of Om, and we used to close with a COVID raspberry, which was that was because of all the fucked up shit associated with COVID. When Tim died, we moved to Tim's Wow, which is appropriate for today's thing. So
You can unmute yourselves if you like. Deep breath in.
Wow. Oh my.
Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Bruce, are you going to make it next weekend, Bruce?
I don't know. We'll have to talk to Dorothy about it.
Okay, I hope you can. This gal's amazing on the bowls, so it's going to be a big sound bath.
Thankful for everything.
Really good to see you, Hansa.
Whatsoever.
Thank you. I hope to come more often.
Great to see you, Hansa.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Have a good week, everybody.
I'm going to call you.
Oh,
I'll call
yes.
you.
Okay, honey. Love you.
Bye. Love you all.
Bye, Pam. Woo.
Hey, we'll see you guys. I know you got a room full, so we won't hold you up this morning.
Fun.
Yeah. What a wonderful session this morning.
Thank you, Tommy.
Just wonderful.
Alice.
Yep.
Love you, sugar.
Yep. Alice brought us Hansa, so we're grateful to Alice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that totally. Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Hans is just a delight, isn't she?
Isn't she great?
Amazing.
She's the best.
Yeah.
Yep.
She is.
Do you know what Hansa means?
No.
He's swan.
Oh.
It's Swan.
Swan? I'll be darned.
Huh.
It fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Beauty and grace.
All right, you
Well,
guys.
have a wonderful session with
Thank you.
Judith.
Thank
I
you.
know you will.
All right. Y'all take care.
Tuesday.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.